Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ladies Power Lunch. Thank you so much for joining us. I am excited today. So, Olivia is my dear friend, and it seems like everybody who comes on the show is my dear friend. So, I know this is no surprise to all y'all. However, very recently, I had the privilege, the honor of being a guest at one of Olivia's retreat events, and it was phenomenal. The results that I was able to get from this particular event was really outstanding. And so I'm really excited to share Olivia with you guys today. But before we introduce Olivia, I would like to say hello to the wonderful women who have joined us here in the Zoom room today. Hi, Lori. Hi, Marianne. Will you guys just unmute real quickly, say who you are and what it is that you do? Lori, you want to start?
Yeah, I am the CEO of Inspire Greatness Coaching and Consulting, and I support women leaders to break out of their armor, take some risks, and really create the life that they desire and they deserve. And I'm so happy to be here because I was also at Olivia's retreat event.
Awesome. And I'm looking forward to, Lori, having you on our Free Gift Friday this afternoon, because that's also going to be an exciting event. So looking forward to that. Hi, Marianne, my friend. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm Marianne Pack and mariannepack.com. And I am a spiritual medium. So I offer personal readings from my spirit guides the many to anyone who has a question or if they just would like a personal reading.
Beautiful. I love it. Thank you so much for joining us, Marianne. And now, ladies, the moment you've all been waiting for, may I please introduce Olivia? Olivia, will you tell everybody who you are and what it is that you do?
Yeah, so my name is Olivia Florian. I'm living in Sweden, but I'm French. And I'm offering experiences for people to really shift from a world of living by the rules and finding their own rules, their own way, their own expression. And I've been, I don't remember if I said it, that I was an engineer, and that was the world by the rules, and also a world that was very partial, not taking in all of us. So that's the world of the rational, of just, yeah, that's the part that was praised, and definitely not the whole of me, and not the whole of anyone. So that's, and the journey is really taking home all these pieces and let them express in the best possible way so that we really can thrive and invite more of us in every part of life, in business, more than anywhere else, I would say, because that's what makes the difference of really living in the way we want to live.
This resonates with me so much because, as many of you guys know, I'm a recovering researcher. I'm also coming from that left brain, by the rules kind of lifestyle. And now I'm stepping into this more be yourself kind of environment. So I absolutely understand why you and I, Olivia, connect so well and so deeply, because we see and understand each other just so well. Olivia, for those people who might be listening who might not know you as well as I do, would you be willing to share, who is the ideal client, the type of person that you work the best with, and what it is that you help them to achieve in their life and in their business?
Yeah, most often people are in a place in life where they're feeling something is off. So either it's the career, or not really feeling, the juice of life coming through. And yeah, so that's, how do I phrase it more? It's really that place where you don't feel, you feel really life could be something more. There is something missing. There is something that doesn't feel good. As an engineer, I could see, that part of Yeah, I feel scattered, and that's also what my clients also know. They cannot bring forward all of them because it's all these beliefs and maybe the context we are working into. So I help them shift, help them see that there is nothing wrong with all these parts of them, and also that there is value in much, much more than what we have been taught. So intuition, the intelligence of the body, so coming more connected to ourselves. So because when we are trained to live in our minds, we lose connection. We lose the ability to really tune into what's true, what's really our real guidance system. So these are parts of.
Beautiful. Yeah. So Olivia, Ladies Power Lunch Coffee Break is an opportunity for our members to learn something new. What would you like to teach us today?
Yeah, so there are so many aspects, but it's really one aspect is what I would call healthy selfishness. That idea of really taking care of your energy first, because that's what makes the end result. And instead of going for what's wanted and I will take care of myself, maybe one day when I have time. So that's one. And then the other element, really, why play is so important in our lives.
I love the topic of inserting play into our lives. You know, I was just having a conversation with a patient, and she was advising me to be sure that I insert some time in my weekend for myself, since it's going to be, and I really try not to timestamp our shows, but it's going to be Mother's Day this weekend. And I am working on Saturday, and she was saying to me, well, why don't you stop working a little bit earlier, you know, and insert some time for play for yourself? And I thought, isn't this just the voice of source coming through my patient, reminding me that I need to insert some play into my life? Olivia, how do you help your clients to, and how will you help us today to really remember to insert that play into our lives?
Yeah, and it's really a mindset shift for really looking at and realizing we are taking life far too seriously, in that it's this hard work. Yes, everything is so serious. Everything has so much, needs to be practical, needs to fit some kind of boxes that we are given. And instead of seeing that life is not about just surviving, that's the basic, but we really want to thrive. And in a thriving world, we need creativity. We need to really bring all these qualities. And when I'm in that serious mode, I'm feeling scared of doing mistakes, and I don't move. So creativity cannot flow anymore. So really realizing that, what is the energy of play? It's the child just doing something for the sake of doing it, not for wondering how will it turn out, what will it be right or wrong, will it love, it's just good. So it's loving the process. So it's living here and now. And then it's just open to curiosity. So trying something, and the only rule is, oh, is that interesting? Is that enlivening me? And that's where creativity really can flow, because if we forget that part, yeah, try to fit the box. I don't even remember what I want to create, what I love to do. It's really just opening that again.
That's so important. I think somebody shared the other day in our Facebook group about the fact that the downtime or the playtime or the creative time is as important as the time that we spend working. And if we're not taking time for the creative time, for the playtime, then actually the work time is gonna suffer. What are your thoughts about that,
Yeah,
Olivia?
exactly. And that's join the point of filling up your well first. So filling your resource yourself, because that's yeah, we need to feed that part of our souls to let it rest and let it take in, receive. And that's a receiving part when we are playing, when we are in downtime. That's where, so even it can be being in nature, observing, feeling things. So really letting things come in instead of figure it out and working on it. It's letting new things come in, new ideas, new thoughts. And around just that energy of play, I'm also an artist, and you can see some of my play but in the background. But it's really been a journey, because I've been that high achiever and things need to look good. And when I a couple of years ago wanted to introduce more art, I noticed how constrained, because I felt like, oh, it needs to turn out right, it needs to turn out good when I was on paper. I don't want to lose a piece of paper if it doesn't turn. It's like, and then noticing it's not fun. It's really not fun. And why am I doing art? It's not fulfilling that constraint that I can create anywhere else in my life too. So I was wondering and looking for, what can I do? And I remember an event, a retreat where we were invited to play with some body painting in a evening. And I remember that feeling of, connecting with that inner child that, oh, I can play, and I'm doing something that mom wouldn't have allowed. And so really feeling that excitement of breaking the small rules that constrict me, and feeling that, and I was like, well, I can try that. So I had some body painting and I began to play with that. And it began to be a daily practice for me, really connecting to that part of me. And then, so it allowed me to just be, yeah, it's in the moment anyway. I will wash it in the evening or any moment if I don't like it. And that's helped me to just open. And it just went such a journey of creativity, because then I came into writing words to that because I wanted to share. So there was something coming through in poetry, and then inviting more of me, other expressions that came through. So really seeing that just playing with paint on the body was one of this journey of seeing that, hey, I can do a lot, and it's talking, there is something, a message that is coming through. So seeing how much is there that is unknown before I'm playing. So
I'm looking at the comments over here in our Ladies Power Lunch Facebook group, and I thought I would share some of them with you, Olivia. There's a comment from Dina, and she says, play is so important, especially for most adults who have stepped so far away from the idea of play. Adults are afraid to look silly, or they're feeling selfish when they're not being productive.
Exactly. The two key words, silly and selfish.
Mm-hmm.
And my journey, that's what I want to bring so much more to others, that journey of really feeling this is good and this is me, and it's all right to look anyway if it's true to me. Mm-hmm. It doesn't, because I cannot control anyway whatever you will think about what I'm doing, how I'm behaving, what I'm saying. So really having that ability to come in contact with, yeah, that's true to me. That's the way I love to express. That's my way of being. And then, so not fearing to be silly. And I've published a few expressions, what I call body art expressions. And people like, wow, how do you dare? And yeah, but it became a normal to me. So training that muscle of, it's okay. It's more than okay. And then the selfishness, yes. And that's the healthy selfishness, because is it selfish to be in an energy that where I have a lot to give? But how does that energy emerge?
I love this so much. Is it selfish to be in an energy where I have a lot to give? Of course not. But how do you get to that energy?
Yeah.
See, that's the conundrum that I think we face, especially those of us who are a little bit more quote unquote left brain, or who have spent most of our lifetimes being conditioned in that left brain environment. It is exciting to me, Olivia, that you've come from the engineering world and you're exploring your art. It is exciting to me that you've come from the engineering world and you are exploring your poetry and your dance and your joie de vie. See, I know French too. It's not just you. Only your English is 5 million times better than my French will ever be. So there's that. But it's amazing that you've been able to come from that left brain environment to really embracing the entirety of you, which is that right brain and that left brain. Do you
Yes.
find that your best clients are people who are coming from that area as well?
Yes, absolutely. That's why also one other part that is important, it's really reconnecting to our bodies, because left brain has been some kind of a safety place. That's the place where we are recognized, where we are praised, and we lose. So really coming back and feeling safe of being fully in the body. Somehow people have some form of minor or greater trauma around being themselves in their body. So it's also, yeah, definitely it's that many have, yeah, I say anytime I need to bring people back into the present moment, and feel and dare to feel what is there.
Well, I can tell you that coming out of your retreat, was it last week or perhaps it was the week before? Um, it was interesting because after your retreat, I found that every morning I would wake up and I would put on some music and I'd be getting ready in the bathroom and dancing. And this was not usual for me. So I'm going to go ahead and attribute it to the conversations that we've had and how it has been allowing me to feel like, yes, it's okay to dance in the morning while, getting ready. That's a fine thing. And it actually elevates my vibration for the rest of the day to fill myself up and then go and give so much more easily to the patient population that I serve. So yes, I totally get that. Do's and don'ts. What can we do to embody all aspects of ourselves?
Yeah, so just the example that you gave, find a first step. If you're not doing so much today, find something that you can introduce in your routine. So find this first little playful moment that you can have only a few minutes before you start your working day or your family day, but really have these small steps. So the dancing was one that you gave. I'm loving doing some slow movement in the mornings, so connecting in this way. So yeah, or go out in nature. You don't need to go. Of course, it's wonderful if you have time and want to do a longer connection walk with nature, but you can just be just a few minutes. And anytime during the day when you have a chance, just refill yourself in this way. So it's really, and then do things that you wouldn't do, learn to see that, yeah, it's okay to make a face. It's okay to just be, instead of that straight stance, just relax and say, yeah, I'm still good. I'm really good when I'm doing that. So having small practices in this way is a great start.
What about things that we should avoid in order to be more successful in being our complete selves?
Yeah, and we already touched on it, but it's really that really remember, you will never be able, and it's never meant to be, that you control what others are thinking. So that part that wants to be accepted, it's not about phrasing my words so that you will, and wondering, will you be hurt? Will you accept me? Will you love me? It's, what am I doing something because it feels true, because it resonates with me? And really remembering that, yeah, I cannot control you. If I can find my goodness, remember that I'm good. Anyway, if I really tune in, I will do the right thing. So I don't need to either worry so much about what you are thinking. Sometimes we will have different opinions, and it's so good. And not everybody will resonate every time with what I'm doing and saying. But yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. I'm gonna give us an opportunity to open up for comments and questions from our beautiful audience members today. So Lori and Marianne, do you have any questions for Olivia about just this idea of being able to live your complete self, live as your complete self?
Olivia, when you started to be more playful, like what did you do to remind yourself to put something into place?
Well, it's, for me, what's been important is finding the time of the day that works for me. So having an anchor. So if I know, if I feel, well, after I brush my teeth, I can insert a 5-minute practice, but really having something I can remember. So, and then, oh yeah, after brushing my teeth. So I have a lot of small notes with things that I want to remember about. So I have my essence words on my mirror saying play, sensuality, and vibration. So really reminding me. So and in the beginning, that's really a way. So really anchor it to something that you already do. That's a great way to create a new habit, because otherwise it's like, oh, now, oh no, I don't know. And you just forget. But if you have something that, and it even works if you have different times. If you're not a person that is 9 o'clock, it's always happening, but it can be 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, any day, but it's after brushing your teeth.
I love that. You know, I was talking to one of my coaches the other day, and I was saying to him that, look, I have no willpower. Willpower is something that I do not possess. But what I am very good at is routine. So if I can figure out a way to build whatever it was that we were talking about into my routine, it's gonna happen. But if I can't, it's not. So I love your idea of putting it in where it fits. If it fits after brushing your teeth, you're going to do it every day because you're going to remember it, because you're going to be picking up that toothbrush. I absolutely adore that response. That makes sense for me. How about you, Marianne? Did you have any questions, concerns, or comments for Olivia today?
I don't have any questions, but this is so good. I already have a page of notes. But just thinking, just considering, what is the energy of play? I mean, I never, that was like, whoo, light bulb in the soul moment for me, because you know, just writing down all the things that, what does energy feel like? You know, that it's curious, that it's loving the process, it's interesting, it's exhilarating, it's, you know, so I love that, Olivia. I love that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and it's just, for me, it's the same thing when I play with the definition. It's just like, of course I need to do that. Of course I want to have that more in my life, even when I'm in that very serious mode, right? Because then I realize that, yeah, my work will work much better if I have creativity, if I'm open, if I'm curious, if I'm enjoying what I'm doing. So it's really a wonderful thing to just play with that, reminding that what is play actually.
Yes, I love that. I have to say, Olivia, that after we had our retreat together, I have been spending more time focusing in on including a little bit more play in my life. For me, that means listening to music and dancing with my children and, just being an all around funny person. And I have noticed that I'm always having ideas and always being creative, but I've noticed that over the last 2 weeks, I have been super creative. The ideas have been flowing like you turn a pipe on and they're just coming, so much so that I have actually created a whole new arm of my business that didn't even exist before. And so the idea that you brought up earlier about actually putting yourself in that position where you're playing so that you can be in the energy to give more, I feel like I'm a perfect example of that happening. And for me, coming from my very left brain behavior to be able to do this is a light bulb moment for me. Really, really big switch. So I want to say thank you for that. Can you share with us, Olivia, before you go, people are going to want to reach out to you. How can they do that?
Yeah, they can find me on oliviaflorian.com. So that's my website. They can find also on the same name. I'm on Facebook quite a lot. I have a Facebook community where I'm holding conversations weekly, where we touch on all these topics that helps us to really bring more of us into the world. And yeah.
Do you have any upcoming events or anything that people can take advantage of?
I'm doing again that retreat that you were on the 18th of May. So, and it's called Thriving Through Creative Expression, and it's visible on my website. There will be it's visible on my Facebook, whichever way you come to find that. So that's a great touchstone. And otherwise, there are the conversations if you really want to get inspired by other people and touch a topic and really enrich each other through that topic and build that energy of understanding more of yourself and how you can live more fully. That's also a great way.
Beautiful. So I hope that you will feel invited to go ahead and pop into our Ladies Power Lunch Facebook group and just leave your information there, post about how we can connect with you, post about your upcoming events. And I want to say thank you, certainly to the ladies who joined us over on Facebook, certainly to you guys who joined us here in the Zoom room, and of course, Olivia, thank you so much for being our very special guest today. And we look forward to having you back again sometime very soon. Everybody have a wonderful rest of the day. Friday party is not over. We at 1 o'clock, we'll be right back here to have more great conversations. Thanks, everybody, and I'll see you on the next show. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.